nominees over the last few weeks, haven't we? And it is about celebrating amazing people making a difference in our communities. And this week we're meeting our nominees in the Great Animal category. Today, let's meet Grace Muir from Heroes. Hello, Grace. Thank you for coming
Phil.
in. Heroes, we're going to talk a lot about it now, but it works like in two ways, doesn't it? It works with horses, rescuing horses, but also with young people facing some challenges and things like that. I'm just a little disappointed no horses came in with you.
Well, I could have done it. I could have. If you'd have asked, I'd have brought them. Yeah.
The boss was like, no, not a chance. Tell us about Heroes. Exactly what are you doing?
Okay, well, I set Heroes up in 2006 with the sort of sole aim to retrain and rehome horses leaving the racing industry every year with uncertain futures. So there's a lot of them, as you can imagine. The number around, sort of banded around, is about 4,000. There's people across the country that retrain and rehome these horses, which is a massive thing because they're so good. The thoroughbred's so good at turning its hoof to another discipline because they are so clever, versatile and intelligent. So along the way and from the start, I always had in my brain that education was key here. So, if we could educate more people to have them, we'd rehome more. So in 2015, with funding from the Racing Foundation, which was set up by the sale of the tote, we started our journey into education, and in doing that came across the fact there is a massive issue with special educational needs children not attending school across South Oxfordshire and West Berkshire. So we've been talking a lot about that as an issue. West Berkshire at the moment is focused on how to fund it all, but actually it's engaging the young people, isn't it, and giving them some skills, which is what you're trying to do. Yes, there's also a link between the racing industry is very short of staff, good staff, experienced hands-on staff. So there I saw a link between, these guys could be so valuable to the racing industry if they have the right skills. And the horses are the great teachers and the great psychotherapists. I mean, they're the ones that do the job, not us really, the tutors mainly, bring up the rear and help them. But when you see the spark in these young children brought on by the horses, it's magical. And what Heroes does is truly magical. And, the journey I've been on with it, Phil, is amazing, but only made possible by one thing, and that's these horses.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like the energy you're putting into this. So there's more than just you now.
It's a big team now.
Is it a big team?
Yeah, it is, because we're based at North Farm Stud, and that's got a big team. So I think it's 40 staff now we employ across that whole North Farm Heroes team, who do a great job. I couldn't do it without them. And do you know what? The journey I've been on is the journey of a lifetime. I can't tell you the things that we've done through Heroes. It's so exciting. But the difference it makes is the big thing, and the outcomes for the students and the horses. And, we could talk to any of the students and they'd give you their story.
Now, it's funny you should say that, because we sent a reporter along to meet you, didn't we? And to go and have a look around. And they had a chat to some of those that have been the young people there, and we heard a little bit about what Heroes means to them.
I first was sent here through school because I was going through a really tough time with social anxiety. School said that they had this provision that they could send me to, and I was all gung-ho for it. I've had horses since I was very little, and so I was like, horse time instead of maths, yes! And the absolute change it's made in my person to this day is just immense.
The horses are very lovely and sweet. It helps with my mental health.
It's amazing when you can do things with a horse because they trust you and they know that you're a safe person. It feels a bit like they believe in you, which is nice when you feel like people don't.
It's turned my life around, it really has. The work that they do here is just incredible. I've always struggled with being in school settings, so being here, which is technically a school setting, but it never feels like it. So there's something to do every day, and it just has saved my life really.
Emily, Katie, Moss and Sophie there. So they mentioned it is a little bit like a school setting. So is that how it works? In effect, they're doing their school day, but with you?
Yeah, we embed maths and English into everything they do. So we have 11 to 16-year-old programme, which is enrichment. So these are children that are not attending school. Schools fund this, and they send students from up to 1 to 3 days a week, and we're called an alternative provision. From there, they can go into our post-16 courses, which we run 1 to 3 3 in horse care. We also do 1 to 3 in animal care. We have all sorts of other animals there, but I mean the horses are the shining force. We do have goats and chickens and geese and lots of other things as well.
I'm imagining a lot of mucking out.
Oh, it's huge, but we have the best mucking out team in the world, headed up by Andy Fairchild, who is just amazing as well. So honest to goodness, it is one heck of a team, and just it makes lives change in both the equine world and the human world.
It sounds incredible work you're doing, really fulfilling. And here you are, you've been nominated for a Make a Difference award.
Such an honour, honestly. I mean, my whole life work really since 2006 has been to make this. I wanted to make it a nationally known charity, Heroes, and I thought that was a big ask, but you know what? I think I'll do it, and we've got so much international sort of interest too. We've had Japan visit, we've had South Korea, there's interest from the Arab Emirates like Saudi and Dubai. So, you know, the model is being noticed. To be honest, it's all that happened when I was a kid. We worked with horses and we had a great childhood. It's not really reinventing wheels here. What it's doing is taking it back to normality and making us all see that's what's real, the live in the world, not the internet, not the phone. Get rid of that. Ditch the phones, guys, and let's get back to reality.
I think I'd probably need a bit of that myself, frankly.
I don't know how you're going to do that with all this stuff, but... So
seriously, the future for Heroes then is what, more of the same, or to try and expand the service further?
We are. We're trying to raise probably about £1 million to do infrastructure changes to enable us to refurbish 2 existing barns into an education centre. At the moment we have about 70 students a week coming through the programme. We want to increase that because we have a waiting list. We've got a forest school now that we've added in. We've got another session we call Creating Spaces. That's a new name.
Wow.
But that is for the anxious student who it's crafts, it's grooming, it's all sorts. It still incorporates the horses, but it's for students that aren't wanting to be immersed in just the horses or just the forest.
Grace, it sounds an epic job ahead, but what an so exciting. Maybe we'll see you at the Make a Difference Awards. Well, hopefully we'll see you there.
Well, I hope so. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, great stuff. Grace Muir from Heroes there, nominated for a Make a Difference Award.